So we've got about 20 minutes left, and we'll use that to answer some specific questions. You know, one of the things that I realized when I was planning this webinar and I was writing up all my notes and that sort of thing, is to how much information there really is to try and get out about this particular subject. You know, everybody's horse is different. So to try and get a little bit more specific, let's do some Q&A. Kylie says, how do you make a horse more balanced? Okay, that's a really good question, Kylie. So I would say that there are two main keys to improving your horse's balance. The first, and I think the most important, is can you maintain a tempo? Okay, so you know, if you're unable to keep the horse in exactly the same tempo, it will be difficult to maintain balance. As soon as the horse loses balance, it automatically speeds up or slows down. Whenever you ask the horse to start making a turn, you know, if it can just lose balance and speed up or slow down whenever it feels like, and the rider isn't able to control that tempo, then you're in pretty bad shape to start with. So, you know, one of the things that we're teaching on the How of Riding course in walk and rising trot is how to control tempo. In other words, how to keep you in charge of the speed of the horse's legs. Because without tempo control, for instance, you can't have impulsion, because impulsion is energy under exactly the same tempo. And you know, if you've got a horse that is diving off onto its forehand or slowing down, and you put your leg on, you know, if you don't have tempo control, that would just generate the horse into speeding its legs up and still being unbalanced, rather than getting its hind legs underneath. The other thing I'd say about balance as well is it's important that you make sure your horse is pretty straight. You know, if you're trotting a 20-meter circle, for instance, on your young horse, and he's falling out through the shoulder, you are by default unbalanced. You know, the horse will not be able to keep its balance. It is always leaning one way or the other. So the very next lesson on the How of Riding series that we're doing, that's covering the turning aids and steering. And that, I mean, it's a lesson that I love teaching, and I'll be leading that lesson. And it's learning how to steer correctly, learning how to provide a framework around the horse that keeps the shoulders in the right place. Will really speed up how quickly the horse learns balance. Because without tempo control and without the ability to control the horse's shoulders and keep the horse's shoulders evenly balanced, the rider will have a really difficult time. One of the great exercises that you can do which helps improve balance is to do trotting poles, and then move on to raised trotting poles. You know, they're a really, really great tool for teaching the horse balance and how to thrust more from behind. And again, though, you know, it does require that you as a rider can maintain tempo. You know, I often, when I'm riding, you know, I can feel the horse lose its tempo by the tiniest amount. You know, it tells me to either firm up or to half halt or to use the leg or make corrections, and the same way that, you know, I can feel the horse start to lean on one shoulder or the other, you know, even just by the tiniest amount, and I can make corrections. Your horse only gets balanced by being balanced. And although that sounds a really crazy circular argument, is you can only increase the horse's balance by getting it more balanced. And that means getting really good at keeping it straight, being really good at keeping the tempo the same. And by doing that, you know, the horse will learn to maintain that itself. So, you know, initially with a young horse, you're doing a lot of the work yourself. You're setting up the tempo. You're teaching the horse how to stay straight through its shoulders. You're there going, be straight. You know, you know, keep moving forwards. Use the leg. So yeah, hopefully that's enough of an answer. Quite a long-winded one.